Hey, it's Jim here. Today I have something pretty special, something I've been really hyped to get my hands on. Today I have the Blazing Godzilla from the Super 7 Ultimates San Diego Comic-Con figure. So, I mean, look, they got my boy in orange. Y'all know how I feel about Orange Godzilla, so let's open this guy and check it out. So here is the Blazing Godzilla from Super 7. As soon as I saw Super 7 announce this guy, I was like, I need a orange -1 Godzilla from Super 7. So I am super excited to have this in my hands, and I am ready to open it up. So let's go ahead and do the usual one of these. And he's out of the box. So here is the Blazing -1 Godzilla figure out in his orange glory from Super 7. I am just really happy to have a orange -1 figure in my collection now, and I'm really glad that Super 7 has gone out the way to make a figure like this. They're known for their kind of color, fun, stylized versions of figures, and I just feel like they really did awesome work here. Lots of rooms for dynamic poses with this guy. You know, I like to do the kind of like crouch, angrily looking to the camera sort of pose, you know, kind of like he's charging up. You could do the classic, you know, tail in focus, him looking over the shoulder menacingly kind of deal here. But yeah, they really put in some work on this figure. You know, I love the shades of paint that they went with in the plates here on the tail, up to the translucent yellow kind of plastic that they went on the dorsal plates on his back, and then the good old classic translucent orange. Just, I feel like looks good on any Godzilla model. So they could really just go all out and make a bunch of orange Godzillas, and I will be a happy of in terms of things that came with the box with him, you know, you got your usual -1 kind of neutral head pose. So with Super 7, they come with their, you know, alternate heads. There weren't any hands, different kind of hands, but yeah, this guy was a little bit of a fighter with me, getting his tail and the other open mouth head in. So I'm kind of trying to be careful with the tail, especially because it did pop out on me yesterday, even after I warmed it up and let it sat for a while. Head popped right in once I warmed it up with the hair dryer, so not too worried there, but will probably not be taking off just because of how hard it was to put on. But in terms of usual action figure kind of review stuff, it's got the posing in the arms. You could do some Godzilla T-pose shenanigans. You could move his hands around for different poses that you want. His neck is on a swivel. Different kind of poses you could do there. His upper chest could swivel around as well. Legs appear to be on a ball joint. Not a whole lot of range of motion you can do there. It's more so on his big old Godzilla feet. But yeah, tail seems to be about the same as the regular version of -1. Again, I'm just a little hesitant to kind of push his tail to his limits just because of how much of a pain it was to get this guy to have his tail on. But yeah, I am really impressed with this figure. I love Godzilla -1, and I always love a Godzilla in orange, and I really feel like Super 7 did phenomenal work with this guy. So next, I'd like to kind of compare it to the regular figure, so let's see how he holds up there. So now here is the Blazing Godzilla -1 standing next to the original release -1 figure from Super 7. So like I had thought, I do think they're using the same model. I was curious when the Blazing version was announced if it was going to be using the new charging model it is not using the original model that they came out with, so kind of a neutral version of Godzilla -1. In terms of articulation, I do feel like the blazing is a little bit more of a, sort of team player in terms of being able to pose with how you want. Like, there's a lot more smoother bending him over like this compared to this guy. And I wonder if that's due to the, maybe some advancements they did with the model, or maybe even like the plastic has sort of a, say of how much you're going to be able to move it around. When looking at the tail, I feel like this tail is a little bit, I don't know, I feel more comfortable moving this tail around just because I haven't had issues with this guy's tail popping out. Whereas this guy, when I'm moving his tail around, I'm a little bit more cautious and like to be on the safe side, because, man, putting these tails in is a bit of a struggle, but not too bad. But I just would like to avoid having to constantly reheat to put it back in. But yeah, I mean, in terms of articulation, they're pretty much the same. I mean, it's to be expected if it's using the same model, but having them here side by side, it just really makes me feel glad that I have a orange version of Godzilla -1 now, because I mean, I love my orange Godzillas, and to have a -1 from Super7 is just really, really awesome to have. But yeah, so here are they next to each other, about same size, same model, probably about same amount of posing that you can do. But yeah, so let's look at the final remarks on this guy. So yeah, I am really happy with this figure. I know some people aren't the biggest fans of Super7 and their Ultimate lines, but I really think that they knocked it out of the park with their -1 figures. When that movie came out, it just quickly shot up to be one of my favorite versions of Godzilla, and knowing Super7, it was only a matter of time before they started coming out with cool color variations, and I'm really glad that they made a blazing or burning -1 of Godzilla figure. If I'm being honest, it's almost close to being like the perfect Godzilla figure for me. I have one of my favorite Godzilla models in orange blazing version, so really, really cool. I love the paintwork that they've done with this guy, the choice of orange translucent plastic to kind of really bring in that blazing version of a Godzilla. I just feel they really went hard on this figure, and it really shows just in like the details as you're looking close at the figure, and the variations of orange and his dorsal plates going up to that yellow, almost like powering up dorsal plates version. It's just a really awesome figure. I was already super impressed with their regular version of -1 Ultimates figure. So yeah, I mean, this is such a awesome figure to have in the collection. So I would definitely recommend, if you're holding off on this guy, put some little color on your shelves with your Godzilla figures. Toys are supposed to be fun. So, but yeah, I think this will conclude my review here. If you like what you saw, please give a like and subscribe to the channel. I do post a lot of shorts. Still working on getting more of these reviews out. Just been kind of a little bit slow to get some figures in because of the state of things, but we do have some stuff on the way. It's just a matter of time of when it will get here. But that I am really happy that this guy came in sooner than later, because man, this is such an awesome figure. I mean, this guy's just packing with menacing, blazing fury. So I'll always love a orange Godzilla, and this guy did not disappoint. But yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. If you'd like to keep in touch with what I'm doing, feel free to follow me on my other socials. I'm pretty active on Instagram, TikTok. So if you'd like to see a little bit shorter variations of videos, I post the same things here on Shorts, YouTube Shorts, but I'm also on other social medias as well. So yeah, if you like this video, thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Goodbye.